What up, baby?
What is up?
How we doing?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 45 of the Ultra Running News Network.
Man, 45.
That's right.
We are quickly coming up on a year, good sir.
I know. I can't even fathom that. I mean,
because like when 40, like to 52, right? Like that'd be because it's one a week.
And we had 2 weeks off throughout the time. Yeah. So really, we're 47 weeks in.
Yeah, we're coming up fast on that 1 year mark.
Yeah, another month or so.
Holy shnikes. Look, hey, we went big time, right? Like we've gone big time. We're coming up on that 1 year mark. We've got us a PR professional running the gram for us.
That's right. We're making strides. If we could only get a few more listeners, that might help.
That's awesome.
But we have fun doing it anyway.
It's a merry band of misfits, right? Like the little group that we have. It's fun this way. You know what I mean? Like if it wants to grow, it can grow. But like the group that we have is awesome to chit chat with.
Yeah, for sure. And for now, we're just having fun, enjoying it. So I just wanted to follow up on two things from our last episode, and one of them has to do with the Big's backyard. I know we talked a lot about everything that happened 2 weeks ago in Big's backyard, but the one thing that I didn't realize, or maybe we did talk about it and I don't remember, is that at Big's, at Laz's in Tennessee, Megan Eckert she had the assist. So basically it's like she had the assist at Big's in Tennessee. So she went for 87 yards, and the winner in Tennessee, Scott Snell went for 88 yards. But the one thing that we didn't mention is that the 87 yards for Megan it's a female backyard record.
So that's I don't know how I don't know how that got by, right? It's freaking amazing, you know. And then by the way, to take the assist too, you know what I mean? Like
and so her distance was 362 miles, and she broke the previous woman's record by 51 miles. That's 13 hours. So
golly days.
Yeah, congrats to Megan. That's just like really awesome accomplishment. And the other thing that I wanted to mention about last episode, we were kind of wondering about that Tussey mountain back, the breakdown of what that course, the surface of the course is. And I thought I had saw somewhere that it was like 82% gravel fire road and like 18% paved. But there was an article from ATRA, which is the American Trail Running Association, talking about Hans Troyer's victory there in the 50-mile USATF Road Championships. And they said that it's 80% compacted gravel and 20% paved road. So,
oh baby,
yeah, it's ripe for the taking. Yeah,
you know what that kind of sounds like, and like, you know what, bucket list race I want to go do. Bucket list race I want to go do. I don't even know how hard. I don't even think it's really that hard to get into the race. I want to go do JFK 1 year.
Oh yeah, 50 mile.
Yeah, because I think I'm like 99.9% sure about this, and you'll immediately know. That's the oldest ultra in the U.S., I believe.
I think you're right. Ultra running history would history. Well, Dipsy's not an ultra. I say Dipsy's the oldest trail race, but that's not an ultra. That's like 7 miles.
Yeah. Well, double Dipsy's is 7 miles, right? Because isn't it Dipsy a 5K?
Right. Dipsy's 7 miles. So okay. the the Quad Dipsy, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah.
That's the only ultra of the Dipsy.
Okay.
There's a Dipsy, there's a double Dipsy, and there's a Quad Dipsy.
Okay.
But let's see, oldest ultra marathon
in the U.S. I'm pretty positive it's JFK. But anyway, JFK, I believe,
JFK
has, I think it has
63.
63. Yeah, because it's JFK 50 because it was Kennedy who was like, hey, this will be a dope thing to like measure people's ultimate fitness. You know what I mean? Like that's where that kind of came from, I think. And it's in is it upstate New York it's in, or is it mid-Atlantic somewhere? I think it's upstate New York.
I think it's in Maryland.
I can't. It's funny because I can't remember.
It's not. I don't think it's up in the northeast.
No. I think it's like it's either upstate New York, like, and when I say upstate New York, I mean like the burbs.
It's in Maryland. It's in Maryland.
Okay, so it is in mid-Atlantic. Okay.
Yeah.
But I believe a lot of its course is similar to what this race is, which makes it really interesting. You know, that it's that compact, you know, kind of gravel road, paved road a little bit. But that'd be such a dope race to go do. JFK 50.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of road sections, but there is some trail sections as well. But it says JFK unintentionally played a role that provided the spark to ignite interest for ultra running both in America and elsewhere. The door was flung open for all who wanted to challenge themselves. An unexpected 50-mile frenzy swept across America like a raging fire that dominated the newspapers for weeks. Tens of thousands of people attempted to hike 50 miles, both the old and the very young. Virtually unnoticed was a small club 50-mile event hiked by high school boys in Maryland. Eventually became America's oldest ultra, the JFK 50, founded by Buzz Sawyer.
Yeah.
That was his push for physical fitness.
Yeah. And I don't know what part of the state that is in Maryland, but if it's west enough, if it's like Western Maryland, dude, that can have some effing hills to it, right? Because if you get far enough west in Maryland, you're basically in northern Virginia or like, you know, eastern West Virginia. Like you can get into some big old hills out there in Western Maryland.
Yeah, I think JFK, it says in the 50, there's a 1,172 feet in the first 5.5 miles. I don't know what the overall climbing is. Yeah, I think it's pretty tame. I'm thinking around 4,000 or 5,000 feet.
Because it's fast. 50. People fly on that thing. I think it's a fast 50 miler.
It is fast. Yeah, you always see really fast times. Yeah. Like usually, fast road runners usually do well in that race. Yeah. This says there was a fitness test in 1908 by Theodore Roosevelt issued an executive order that every Marine captain and lieutenant should be able to hike 50 miles in 20 hours. In 1962, Kennedy discovered this order and asked his Marine Commandant David M. Shoup to find out how well his present-day officers could do with the 50-mile test. Shoup made an order to his Marines. 20 Marine officers were selected to take the test in mid-February 1963 at Camp Lejeune. So the Ultra Running History website has a bunch of information on this. Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett is the effing man.
He is. I love Davy Crockett.
It's amazing the amount of knowledge that he has. Like it's just like it's hard for me to wrap my head around and fathom the amount of knowledge that dude has harnessed and brought in.
He's compiled.
It is crazy.
Yeah. So his podcast, like I've mentioned on other episodes, his podcast, Ultra Running History, is great. I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's just cool to learn about how the sport came into existence and about how popular walking was in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Like multi-day walking events were the biggest sporting events like in the world. I mean, in America, they were for sure. People would be gambling and smoking in there.
Yeah. and just to be that, like, I feel like people need to know that kind of stuff, right? Like, I will forever, like, however long I have the ability to be in the ultra running community, I will forever owe a significant debt of gratitude to, like, Chad Hild, Keith Flint, Mark Carroll, who they themselves had been in it for decades before me. And so when I got into it, they taught me the ways before, you know what I mean? Like the origin, how to act, how to like the correct culture, the culture of ultra running. Because like the reality of the matter is the culture of trail running and ultra running is different than road running, right? Like it just is.
Yeah.
And like if people don't learn that kind of history of it, then like you're just missing out on a lot of the cool parts of what makes the culture, right? Like it's such a cool part of like this little clique and community that we have.
And that's the cool thing about our community is that it's a lot of mentorships, and people just take people under their wing. Like I've had, I was kind of under the tutelage of a lot of the people that you just mentioned, and also, Rob Powell,
oh my God,
who I met through Lucas Hardbarger, and Don Bond,
Don Bond, dude, yes,
and all these guys, they've, and Jay Smithberger, like, you learn so much from them, and then I was willing to share it out too. So like if somebody, a friend of a friend, whatever, they're getting into ultra running, give them my information. I'll talk to them. I'll tell them everything that I can possibly tell them, So pass it forward.
Don Bond's the one that taught me how to run downhill.
Yeah.
Like I think I've shared that story on this podcast, like almost one of our first episodes. I could, Jamie, I shit you not, I can go to the exact spot at Mohican on the exact hill where Don Bond's like, hey man, this is how you run downhill.
Yeah.
And then the weird little technique that was involved in it. And like, oh, by the way, Don was not a young cat at that time either. I'm like, I just remember thinking, I want to be like that motherfucker. Like, what a dope.
Yeah.
Dick Canterbury? Look at Dick Canterbury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Legend.
Dude, I mean, like, it's just so effing cool.
Yeah.
And on your great point about people learn from other people and like people pull people underneath their wings, and to bring this all the way back to full circle where we started this conversation at, Hans Troyer makes a comment in that article you're talking about where he's like, I've learned from my mistake. I've had people pull me in and teach me a little bit more about nutrition. I'm nothing special. I just put the work in. And he like keeps talking about people kind of like helping him out and giving him some pointers and kind of assisting him with stuff. And you're just like, I like to hear that, man, because like, it's just really cool.
Yeah, you can tell from Black Canyon that he gained some respect from some of the like Hayden Hawks, but at the same time, those guys are, I'm sure, more than willing to help him out, like because of that respect. So it'll be awesome to see what he does in the sport. I think once he figures out the nutrition, electrolytes, which sounds like he's dialing it in pretty good. So next year should be interesting for him. Like to see him competing at a high level. So
it'd be super cool.
All right. Well, let's get into some race results. Not too much going on. Race season's kind of winding down a bit. Our episodes may get a little shorter in the winter. I don't know. We'll see. You and I can both we both have the gift of gab, so
it's funny because before we started this episode, we're like, yeah, the episodes might get shorter. Never mind me taking us on a tangent and looking up shit about JFK 50 miler, and then start talking about the history and like mentoring and shit like that. Like, boom, baby, there goes 10 minutes right off the rip. Like, let's go.
Well, I guess that's what makes it fun. But first race we're going to go to is Rio Del Lago. So Rio Del Lago, I had heard about before, but once I moved out to California, this is one of the staple 100 milers in California. And it takes place, or it starts in Granite Bay, California, which is kind of near like Folsom. And I believe it goes, it's kind of like goes down south and then it comes back and then it goes north and it comes back. And I think there's a decent portion of this that takes place on a paved like bike path. And then there's also trail as well, and everybody calls it easy rock. Like it's like an easy, like it's an easy way to get your Western States qualifier. And I thought it was only, it does go up to like Auburn, it does go up into the trails in Auburn, in that area. I thought it was only like 5,000 to 7,000 feet of climbing, but when I was researching for the show, it's like almost 14,000 feet. I'm like, oh, so not as easy as maybe I thought, but
not easy, but right. Like it's interesting what people perceive as easy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, you're on nice big road, and like, oh, easy breezy. I'll climb 14,000 feet on that. But then you take that same 14K and you throw it on single track, and people are like, whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
I was wondering where this exactly went because the caption there, it talks about running along the American River. So when you had made the comment, oh yeah, it does go up to Auburn, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense because obviously it goes. And so I noticed that too. It does look like a really cool race.
Yeah, like here's the course map. I don't know if this is gonna. Well, there's Cool Fire Station. That's where you park for that Pointed Rocks aid station at Western States.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's Auburn Lakes Trails, Auburn Overlook. Here's Rattlesnake Bar. That's all in the classic trails in Auburn there. Beals Point, Johnny Cash Trail. So this is down by Folsom, Hazel Avenue Bridge. So
I think it'd be super cool that if they just had like Folsom inmates, like honor inmates working at an aid station. How dope would that be?
Yeah.
You come bounding into an aid station, it's just like honor inmates working at an aid station.
That would be cool.
what you need, cuzzo? Like, let's get it. Let's go. like that'd be.
I got some cake. I got some cake with a shiv.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like handing it to you in like a book or something like that. You like, you know what I mean? That'd be so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it starts at like Beals Point, and then like I said, it goes south. It does a loop down here, and then it goes north up to Auburn, and then it goes back. So
what's crazy is back on the elevation chart. I mean, dude, you go a hot minute without seeing a hill, and then it's like, we didn't get ours.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like that's you have 1, 2. You really only have 3 significant climbs. You know what I'm saying?
It is definitely most of the climbing is up by Auburn.
Yeah,
and that
which
like
makes sense.
2/3, half to 2/3 section of the 100 mile, like 50 to 70 miles, I'd say, or looks like maybe from 45 to 80 is most of the climbing. There is a little climb at the beginning, right there. Maybe like 700 to 1,000 feet or something. But yeah, and then so it's kind of a cool time of year for a race out there. The weather is usually pretty nice, unless you get some freak early November rain, which usually doesn't happen. But also, this is the last Western States qualifier. And this is what I was mentioning before the show I wanted to talk to you about, because I'm like, this can't be the last Western States qualifier because there's Tunnel Hill, right? Which is this weekend, and that's a Western States qualifier. So then I went to the Western States qualifiers website. I put the link in the chat here, and I don't know if I accidentally closed it, but I'm gonna open it up and share this. So if you look here, the dates for the 2025 race lottery, the qualifying period is November 6, 2023 through Sunday, November 3rd, 2024.
Ooh.
So
wait, it's November. Wait, what was it again?
It's November 6th, 2023. So last year through November 3rd, 2024.
So Tunnel Hill's your first Western States qualifier then.
For 2026.
Yeah. Dude, how flying pissed would you be if you went out and you're like, I gotta give me a qualifier, and you went out and you ran Tunnel Hill and you're like, there we go, and they're like, hey, great job for 2026. Like, son of a bitch.
Right.
Oh, that would suck.
It sure would. Yeah, it would ruin your year.
Oh, dude.
All year you're thinking, I'm doing my qualifier at Tunnel Hill in November.
I'm good. Good. Horrible.
Good stuff. Yeah, so let me bring up the screen share again because I just closed it down. Okay, here we go. All right, so results. They had a 50K this year as well. Yeah. And there's 204 finishers at the 100-miler. Tyler Andree won in 14 hours and 54 minutes. And Nicole Abma was first female, 16 hours and 26 minutes, and she was second overall. Kyle Roberts, second place, a male, third overall, 16:41. Dennis Boyk, 17:29 to round out the podium for the guys. And second place woman was Jacqueline Ferrogi, 18 hours and 35 minutes. And rounding out the podium for the women, Paula McNally, 19 hours and 16 minutes.
All right, question for you. And this could be either, neither, both, right? And it's probably like very situational. It's probably every race is a little bit different. Is Tyler just like legitimately that much better than Kyle, right? Is that Kyle? Third place overall. Is Tyler like just legitimately a 2 hour faster 100-mile runner?
Yeah.
Or are they usually pretty equal? And then, Tyler just put a little bit of distance and Kyle's like, you know what? Fuck it. I just don't have it in me to chase him today. You know what I mean? Like that's always been an interesting thing for me. Like, dude, he beat the ever living bricks off from second place, dude.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
I mean? Yeah, I mean, like he destroyed that person. I mean, I guess even second place overall, the first place woman.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, that's it. That's 90 minutes.
Well, she was 16:26, and second place woman was 18:35. So that was over 2 hours. So both of them were really like way above the others
it's
in performance.
I've always found that interesting where like it's like, because like I think on that elite of a runner, you just know it's your day or it's not your day, right? Or you just know like, oh, like the person I'm really competing against just has something extra in the tank today that I don't, and like you're just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Who is it that who we should ask? Who you're going? I'm so bad remembering names. Who listens to the show that is like a really fast ass runner? We've talked to him a couple times on social medias. Like I think he won a race.
Cole Crosby.
Yeah, I did. We
Cole
should
Crosby.
yeah, was that him? Like
the one that raced out in Kansas.
Yeah, we should shoot him if you're listening, Cole. Shoot us.
Or no, Nebraska, not Kansas.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah. Cole, if you're listening, shoot us a message. Let us know when you're that fast. Like what happens at the front? You know what? I want to have Cole on. I want to have Cole on and just pick his brain about like what's it like to be at the front of the pack.
Yeah, that's a good.
And then it's I find that curious. Like what happened to the third place overall person that was just like, you know what, F it, I ain't trying to keep up with that cat today. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah, that's my open ramble about
All
that
right.
for you.
Yeah, reach out to us, Cole, if you're interested in coming on. And I do want to give a shout out to my friend Chris Thoburn, who ran. There he is. Chris Thoburn from Oakland, friend of mine, 23 hours and 26 minutes. So nice sub 24-hour finish for Chris.
Is that the Chris? I've met Chris. Chris, is that the Chris I've met or no?
No, you haven't met Chris. I met Chris actually in 2017 in Mountain Lakes, and then so I knew him from before I moved to San Francisco, and then but yeah, Chris, he's a pretty fast runner. But yeah, sub 24. Congrats. All right, that was Rio Del Lago. The 100 mile is the feature event. The 50 mile, though, they still had over 100 finishers, 117, not 50 mile, the 50K. Kyler Dill, 3 hours and 55, was first overall. Brian Miller, second overall, 4 hours. So just about six and a half minutes separated Kyler and Brian. Nicholas Budson was third for the men, 4 hours 15, third overall. Kate Kearns was the first place female, 4 hours and 28. Second place female was Laura Cruz, 5 hours and 28. And third place, Sabrina Van Horn, 5 hours and 30. So congrats to all of them. Mountain Masochist runs was over the weekend. Now, these runs were the 100K, the 50 mile, and the 50K. Do they also have a 100 miler at some point?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I might be thinking of something else. It's in that area. So Mountain Masochist, it's in Lynchburg, Virginia, and it starts out, there's a short out and back section on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Then it goes north over various dirt and gravel roads in the National Forest before runners have to negotiate the second half of the course. Leaving Long Mountain Aid Station, the second half includes dirt and old logging roads, as well as several miles of beautiful single-track trail. Many say the race is just beginning when you leave Long Mountain. Upon reaching the last aid station at Porter's Ridge, runners course downhill for 2.9 miles toward the finish in Montebello. The entire course traverses some of the most beautiful areas in the Blue Ridge, right around peak fall foliage.
I bet that is a really pretty run.
Yeah,
it is. Like, I mean, you guys, I think happened last week. Like the trees would have been popping down there. Like that would have been really cool.
Absolutely.
And like, have you ever been on the Blue Ridge Highway? Have you ever been on like the actual Blue Ridge Highway?
I think I've driven on it.
It is, isn't it? I find that to be like a wildly interesting. Like, it's amazing how butter smooth it is, right? Like it's like because they don't let trucks on it. They don't ice it. They don't do anything to it. It is just like untouched, but they also are really serious about no big trucks. So it never gets, I mean, it gets broke down, but it doesn't get broke down like the normal everyday highways. It is such a fun road to drive on. I don't want to be on that thing when it's foggy, but it's a pretty cool road nonetheless.
Yeah, no, it's been many, many years since I've been on it. So, that's cool. Will Vols, okay, so only six, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only six, they tied. 6 people finished the 100K. So I guess the 50 miles probably the most popular. Will Volsky was first male in the 100K, 13 hours 10. Charles Spencer, 13:38, second. Justin Fall, 13:46, third. First place female is Alex Luck Barnett in 15:52, and Emily Barreneau Spencer tied that time, 15:52:46. But she was awarded second place female. So that was the 100K. The 50 miler. So let's see there.
Is the 100K just a 50K out and back? Or is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it 2 loops of the 50K?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I didn't research the course too much.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting because I'm looking at the course description, and it has the 50 miler and it has the 50K, but it doesn't have anything about the 100K on here. So I was just kind of curious.
Maybe that's new.
I actually do think the 100K might be new because on their website, it only talks about the 50 miler and the 50K. That's all it talks about on the website. They don't even have 100K on here.
Okay. Well, there was 111 finishers in the 50 miler. And Spencer Kersteeder, 7 hours and 54 was first. Mark Rebholz, 7 hours 57 for second. John Anderson, third, 8 hours 15. First female was Jessie Wingo, 8:44. Second female, Kristen Kelman, 9:31. And third place, rounding out the podium for the women, Heather Doherty, 9 hours and 56. Go ahead.
Looking at the it's funny if you look at the race map. If you go to their website and you look at the course descriptions, in a weird kind of way, I think the 50K race kind of looks harder than the 50-mile race. Go to course descriptions, right? It's upper left. And so in a weird way, right? Like look at the topos.
Oh, it's a point to point.
I don't think it's a point to point. That's the 50 miler. I think you start and you go out and you do that loop, and then that's a long out and back there, and you go back. I think it's a big ass.
Oh, it is an out and back. You're right.
And then
that's totally an out and back.
Look at that. Doom like that. Like, all right, so here's why I think the 50K. So the 50K, you just run out to that loop, you swim the 50 miler, and you head right back in. I think that elevation profile looks harder than the 50 mile.
Yeah.
I don't. There's just something about that condensed, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
There's a 1,400 foot climb. Yeah.
Right off the rip too. Like you're getting after it right off the rip on that 50K.
I think the first page said that the 50K is 5,600 feet of climbing, and then the 50 mile is 9,000. Yeah, it'd be a cool race to run though at this time of year.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of people from Ohio that have gone down and done this race.
According to their website, it's been around for a minute too. I think it's been around since '83. I think the website said.
Oh yeah, it's a long.
Yeah, it's a long-standing one. It has a really good reputation. It's been around for a minute. Oh my gosh, there's results back to 1983 for the 50 miler. Yeah, I think
So
it's been there for a
that's
minute.
50. Oh, yeah.
Whoa, easy, killer. 83 is not 50 years ago.
41 years ago.
Hey,
Wait,
it's
what?
not. I was born in 77, and I'm
Yeah.
only 47 years old.
All right, 41 years.
Easy, easy.
What year were you born?
77.
All right, I'm 78, so
Yeah.
not far ahead.
You should have known it hasn't been 50 years then.
I
If you're born
know.
in 78,
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
the math ain't mathin'.
I'm doing ultra math.
Yeah. Yeah.
50K. There was actually 108 finishers in the 50K. You're right. This might be difficult. Like, well, 5 hours and 15 was first place. Jordan Chang, Andrew Dunlap, 5:24, Danny Matheson, 5:34, and Juliana Villa, first female, 6:15. Kate Buss, 6:17. So just 2 minutes separating first and second place woman. And Taylor Cherry was third place female, 6:27. All right. So there was a race up in Houghton, Michigan, which is in northern Michigan, and it was cool to see this. Houghton, let's see here. So Houghton is like up on the in the Upper Peninsula,
Yeah,
of Michigan. So it's like, I'll share this tab. It's like way up there, man. Like,
dude, it's on a little peninsula. It's way up there.
yeah, like up by like Copper Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother-in-law lives in the Upper Peninsula. The Upper Peninsula is a unique place, man. It's
Yeah.
like takes you back in time to like the 1980s. It's just like there's no agriculture up there. It's just like it's just untouched land. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's cool being up there. But so anyway, this race is called the 50 KUM, and
50
yeah,
KUM. Oh, Ultra Marathon Club.
that's right. So it's the Keweenaw Ultra Marathon Club, and that peninsula up there is the Keweenaw Peninsula, and it's a student organization, and they aim to get
super cool.
because there's a college up there, but they aim to get students and community members together to enjoy social trail runs and learn more about the sport of ultra marathon running. Everyone is welcome to join, no matter your age, gender, or running ability. Club has many experienced ultra runners who are happy to share what they have learned throughout their ultra running experiences. So it kind of goes on what we were talking about. Want to help everyone learn what they're really capable of, both mentally and physically. So they have their website here, and it's the 50K loop that you can download, or the 25K loop, 50K info. I thought I had downloaded their chart, but here it is. Oh, that's the 50K info.
I will tell you, if you are in that area, or if you're traveling that area and you're looking for a old school, rustic, no thrills kind of 50K, I have found your race. This thing is, I have seen fat asses more. Like, this is amazing, man. Like, this thing is, it is really cool. Like, it is just a scooch above a fat ass.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they have this in the UP, and there is a couple other races by that in Great Lakes Endurance. Didn't they cancel a race recently or something?
Wait, was that them?
I didn't.
Was that them?
Well, this isn't the same. But the Great Lakes
Not,
Endurance puts on some races like Grand Island Trail Marathon.
yeah, who was that? That was I just sent you.
Yeah,
Hold on, who was it? I'll go back to our text real fast while you talk a little bit, and I'll find it.
I think it was in Reddit or something.
It was in Reddit.
It was. Yeah, it was one of their stage. Was it a stage race or something?
Yep,
Or
it was. That's too bad. They put on good races.
They do put on good races, and they just canceled it, and they only put the cancellation on the event Facebook, not even their Facebook page,
their
like
Facebook.
the Facebook page for the event specifically. So there was people that didn't even know about the cancellation that showed up. They paid money to travel. They showed up at the hotel.
Great Lakes Endurance.
Yeah, they put on good races. It's too bad that
dude, that's wild. That is wild.
It's too bad.
So,
I forgot. I actually forgot about that. I'm surprised I didn't put it in my in the show notes for today. But
it does suck. Like you feel really bad. Like I can't wrap my head around driving all the way up there and then be like, oh, it's like, you know what it is.
National Lampoons.
Like, yeah. Sorry, folks. The moose at
Park's
the front should have told you. Park's closed. Fucking punch the moose in the face. Sorry, folks. Moose should have told you.
Like, yeah. Is that a real? Man. Is that a real gun, Clark? It's a Magnum PI. Yeah. Classic. Drove all the way across country.
Oh, it's so funny.
So anyways, in the 50 KUM, Ethan Hoff was first. This is a 50K. 4 hours and 15. Henry Campbell second, 4:28. Thomas Smith almost caught second place, not quite. 4 hours and 30, so just 2 minutes behind. Mariana Grohowski was first female, 5 hours and 26. And Greta Rickauer, second female, 5 hours and 48. Hazel Kemp, third, 6:15. 33 finishers altogether at the Houghton 50 KUM. Okay, and one other race I was going to talk about was the Conquer the Castle.
Conquer the Castle. Speaking of no thrills races.
Yeah.
All right, this is another good example, but this is a pretty old school Northeast Ohio race. Like this one holds a lot of nostalgia for a lot of runners here in Ohio.
Yeah, so it is. It's looks like it's been going on since 2016, 2016. So the first year I did Burning River, which was 2013. The Burning River started at this castle. Actually, both years I did it, it started at this castle. And then it did a loop up behind the castle the first year. But the second year I did Burning River, 2015, it didn't do that loop up behind the castle. But anyway, yeah, I know this castle well. And I think, didn't Chaz do this race once? Conquer the castle?
Did he do this one or did he do there's one and I don't know, the one that he did, he may have done this one also, but the one that I'm thinking of in my head that I know he has done is the one that is like urban trails and like you actually run through like a
Yahtzee?
No. Well, this one he did a couple years ago. It was put on by a doctor. Do you remember that race? It was in Northeast Ohio. It used to be ran by a doctor. Gosh, I'll have to try to find that. It was a doctor was the RD for it, and you ran through like urban trails in Northeast Ohio, Canton, Cleveland, Akron kind of area, and there was like a storm drain they had to go through and had like spray paint all over it. It was a weird race.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was thinking he did that race, but I can't remember what that race's name was. Even.
I think I know what you're talking about, but we'll have to find that out. So anyways, Conquer the Castle is in Willoughby Hills, Ohio. and it's I'm guessing it starts and ends at this castle. It consists of bridle path and single track trails with approximately 2 miles of asphalt per 15.8 mile loop. You'll experience plenty of rocks, roots, mud, and of course our favorite, hills. So yeah, there is some good hills up behind that castle.
Yeah.
So they had 100K, and the 100K, there was 19 finishers. Alec Klein was first overall, 7:55. Lucas Clark second, 8:52. Seth Moore 8:53 for third, and then first place for the women was Liana Kobayashi, 11 hours and 7 minutes. Second place, Angela Sanford, 14:26, and Maria Bolsdania, third, 15:45 in the 100K. In the 50K, Michael Steer, 3 hours 54, Adam Lucas, 3:57, and Josh Duria, 4:13. That was your first, second, third place men. And Kim Peterson was first for the women, 4 hours and 47. Patricia Haid, 5 hours 24 for second. Tina Frimmel, 5 hours 36 for third. So yeah, that's Conquer the Castle, Willoughby Hills.
Did you say you've never ran this race though, have you? Right?
Not this race, but I've started Burning River twice. That started from there before the current course.
So the other thing that's funny about this race, right? Because it's just regardless if you do the 10 mile or the 20 mile, the 50K or 100K, it's just loops, right? It's just that's how many loops you do, right?
Yeah.
Well, regardless of whatever distance you do, you can choose to be knighted, and all that means is behind the castle there's a climb that's like, I don't know, not even a quarter mile climb, but if you go up it, there's legitimately someone up on the hill, like dressed like a king, that knights you and gives you like a little like thingamabobby to carry back to the and so if you do the 100K, you only got to do the hill one time, and you get knighted. Now, if you're doing like the 10 miler, you got to do it at one. It's like there's legit photo. If you go to our website, there's legit photos of people being knighted because they chose to do the hill.
That's funny.
I think it's back at the top. I think it's under event info.
Be Knighted.
Be Knighted. Yep.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that movie, Role Models. the LARPing.
Yes. Yeah. It is a quirky race, man, for sure. It is a quirky race. So
how long's the loop?
Aren't the loops? The loop is a 10-ish mile loop.
Oh yeah, 10.35 mile loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I honestly, I can't wrap my head around doing 6 loops on 10 miles.
Yeah.
That's a long day for 100K, man. Like that's you're seeing the same shit 6 times. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot to mentally take on.
Well, I've done Indiana Trail when it was 6 loops.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
100.
So
it's a lot of loops.
Yeah. It's a quirky race, man. It's a quirky race. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, let's move into some news. So Michael McKnight, long distance specialist, he usually does really well at like Cocodona. I think he's won the Triple Crown before of 200s, where he won. He won outright Tahoe, and he won outright Bigfoot. Did he win outright then Moab? I can't remember. But anyway, Michael McKnight set out to beat the Arizona Trail FKT, which goes from the Mexico border all the way up to the Utah border. And he had a rough go. He had some shin problems, and then a bad storm happened. Then he had hamstring problems, and he ended up calling it. And I don't think this is the first time he's attempted this FKT either. He's typically really good at the long distance stuff. But this is what he said. The Arizona Trail defeated me. It's weird wrapping this up, thinking that I was only able to complete 500 miles. There aren't many sports out there with stakes like that, where you push yourself to complete exhaustion by averaging 4 hours of sleep at night while running 62 miles a day, where you can cover a distance by foot that not many humans have ever covered and still miss the mark. While I'm again walking away without a completion, I'm not walking away empty-handed. I learned an extremely important life-changing lesson out there, one that's a little hard to articulate right now due to my lack of sleep, but I'd say the hardest part of not finishing this thing is feeling like I let so many people down, my family and friends who came out to support me, the amazing athletes I coach and strive to help mentally and physically prepare for these things. All of you who followed along and sent messages of support. I can't describe how appreciative I am for all of you and how sorry I am to yet again not complete this trail. So yeah, I bet you he'll go and get this done.
Oh, 100%. It's living rent free in his head at this point, right?
Yeah, like it really is.
Like it's just there. What is it? It's his Moby Dick, right? Or is that what it is? Like, is that the
white whale?
Yeah, it's his white whale. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He will 100% have to go back. Like he won't be able to fight the demons not to.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. Like, I was just on a run yesterday. Yesterday, and I was listening to Crack a Brew with AJW's podcast, and Michael McKnight was on the podcast, and then I was doing the show prep, and I saw this. I was like, oh.
So. I wonder that's why he was on. Yeah. Oh, he had some freed up time. Like I love the fact like I was only able to complete 500 miles. Like what a sport! What a sport! You gotta love a sport where the words "only complete 500 miles" comes out of your mouth.
So let's take a look at this Arizona Trail FKT. The distance is 817 miles.
Yeah.
The vertical gain is 113,537 miles.
What?
Yep.
800 miles, right?
Yeah.
With a gain of 113,000 miles.
113,537 miles feet divided by 817 miles. So it's about 139 feet per mile, which if you look at it that way, it's not crazy, but I mean, it adds up. It adds up.
Let's just call it 113 and divide that by. All right, this should be easy math. I should be able to do. I mean, yeah. When you look at it, like that is interesting.
But
But
this trail is difficult because weather is often a limiting factor. I know String Bean did get this FKT one time, and he like had some crazy ass snowstorm that he had to deal with, and like, you know, it's either you're gonna hit heat in the summer, or you're gonna hit snow in the spring, or you're gonna hit rain in the fall.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to get lucky, I guess.
I'd say like it. You're right. Like either you're going to cook in the summer, or if you try to do this thing anytime much past this time of year, you're gonna get up into the mountains and you're gonna get snowed on.
Yep.
That is interesting.
The current supported male FKT is String Bean, Joe McConaughey, and he's 13 days, 3 hours, and 21 minutes. And that was set in 2021. Michael Versteeg, Whiskey Man, he's 15 days and 22 hours back in 2016. Self-supported Josh Perry, 14 days and 12 hours. And unsupported Art Brody, 28 days and 3 hours. That means that he had to like find all his water, and he had to carry all his
How do you do that in the desert?
I don't know. He had to carry all his calories for 28 days.
Yeah.
Unless he was like hunting and foraging.
Shooting like
javelinas.
Yeah, out there like sniping javelina. The other thing that's
road
really
runners.
Kind of interesting, the other thing that's interesting about this trail is how perfectly it goes from the very, very southern border perfectly to the north border.
Oh yeah,
like it is like a perfect top to like north, south, south, and north.
Runs up next to Tucson, it kind of goes to the east of Phoenix, up through Sedona, Flagstaff, through the Grand Canyon, and up to the Utah border there.
What's the yo-yo?
Oh, that would be going out and back, I guess, right? Is that one of the yo-yo?
Yeah.
So, has anybody done it? I don't even see.
I don't think so. I think people have tried it. I don't think anyone's done it.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing I noticed about this course, this route, is there is not a option north to south, south to north. It's just you know what I mean?
I think it always goes south to north. Or actually, I don't know. I guess you can just do it either way.
Yeah, you would think that it would be different, right? Like you would think there'd be every other course that can go both directions. There is a FKT for the north-south, right? Like look at the AT, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we've talked with Tara. She said it going north to south. Now she happened to be so fast that she set both of them. But I mean, that's kind of I'm kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah, I wonder which direction. Yeah, they all went. The supported female FKT is Helen Galerkis, 17 days, 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the self-supported Katie Brown, 17 days, 19 hours, and unsupported Heather Anderson, 24 days, 1 hour. All right. Looks like my camera lost connection.
Oh yeah, we lost you again on the camera.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
So then there's another FKT, correct?
Yes, and that is our next news story. So there was an FKT on the Continental Divide Trail. Now, this one is way more difficult than either the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail. This one basically goes right up through mountain ranges in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana, and Idaho, I think.
It touches Idaho.
Yeah, this is the Continental Divide Trail, okay, and it's 2,975 miles, so almost 3,000 miles. I don't really know how much climbing, but I'm guessing it's a lot. Let's see. How much climb on Continental Divide Trail? 457,000 feet for a southbound hiker. I wonder about the northbound. I would almost think northbound would even be more, but
yeah, you would think. I mean, yeah, because you're gonna get to those mountains.
Yeah.
But man, the views of this trail would be insane.
Yeah. No doubt. So yeah, this would be really cool. But we just had an FKT set. Kendra Layton set the female supported FKT. 152 days and 22 hours.
Days, dude.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Oh. I'm going to fix my camera real quick here. Okay.
I'm
back.
He's back on the FK. So right there where you can see the pictures below it.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wish, because I don't think it really says. It doesn't really say where the pictures are, right? But that one, the first one and the second row, right? You're on top of a mountain. Or you're on a ridge line.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That one's awesome. But there's one that you can talk about like that. I didn't know you could talk. That one right there.
Oh yeah.
You're on, like, it doesn't look like you're on an extremely high ridge, but you're on a ridge for sure. But that fence, right? Like
barbed wire.
It's barbed wire, but it's also like that stacked wood. You know what I mean? Like kind of like
the old school.
Yeah. It's wide. Look how perfectly straight that thing runs along the ridge. But also, how long has that thing been there? Like it's crazy, right?
Probably since the 1800s,
right? Since this stupid trail is a trail. Like it's just that is just a really fascinating part of the U.S.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And one thing that we just recently found out, we settled our quest for knowledge on Ostrozewski. We didn't know if they were twins or cousins or what, but or maybe sisters, but born a year, a little bit less than a year apart. But turns out they are twins. And there's an article on the American Trail Running Association about Sarah, who's really an elite ultra runner. And she talks about training with her sister, credits a large part of her career success to her automatic training partner, her twin sister, Melissa. So that mystery is solved.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, let's move on to the next one. So the New York Marathon was this weekend, and someone got not only disqualified, I think disqualified maybe, but definitely banned.
Yeah,
banned from future New York marathons.
More. So not only he did get DQ'd. They DQ'd him from the race. Not only is he banned from New York City Marathon, he is banned from all NYRR runs for life.
Whoa.
Dude, they're like, we're not having any of your bullshit.
Wow.
They knocked the spark out of that dude. And what's wild is I think this video shows it. This video, it just really captures how effing inconsiderate he is, and like how it's just like it's about him. You know what I mean? And like it really does capture it.
Yeah. So this is Matt Choi. He's a running influencer, and we were looking at his Instagram page when we were talking about Leadville, because he ran Leadville and he had some pretty great footage of Leadville. So we were using his footage, watching him take his shoes off to go through rivers and stuff.
So
we thought he was putting on Crocs, but it turns out they were like, it's like some other brand of shoe.
Starts with a K. I already can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, so he was doing his influencer stuff, the New York Marathon. He had somebody riding in on these bikes, these electric bikes, and filming all this video footage of him. And there was this TikTok video about it here. I'm gonna just play the
quite a big one. And this man has been known for doing some kind of sketchy, obnoxious things in the past, but this might be the final straw. He has been disqualified from the New York Marathon and banned from future New York running events because he had multiple people on these type of bikes in the middle of the crowd to film him. And the reel that came out of this video like definitely isn't worth it. I could make something like this with my phone in my hand. I don't know why he didn't just keep the phone in his hand. I don't know why he ain't got no shirt on.
He did keep the phone in his hand.
There's 55,000 people out here, and the people
but he didn't use it.
Were very fast, but the person you're going to have talked about the most is Matt Choi, because he went and did something like this, which might be good for him, but it's just annoying, bro. I wouldn't have even known about this if it wasn't such an outrage. Right now, there is a very big like divide between running influencers and like actual athletes that do running content. Like we are not the same people, and the other people on TikTok.
I agree with that.
I do would agree. And this isn't the first time.
So and he was also, what the video is going to go on to say, he's also banned from the Houston Marathon because he ran with somebody else's bib.
It just, the other thing that illustrates to me is when influencers like him apologize, it's hollow as fuck. It doesn't mean shit. He's apologizing. He's not apologizing for what he did. He's apologizing for getting the backlash that he got. Because if he's apologizing, because if he's apologizing for what he did, from that point on, every dumb ass thing he's about to do, he'd be like, "Wait a second, am I allowed to do this?" But he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about. He doesn't care about the race. He doesn't care about anyone else running around him. He cares about getting that corny ass content, and like that's the thing that pisses me off about him. Like it's he also has an apology video out. That is just it's cringe. I walked away from the apology video madder than I was when I first watched this video. I'm like, dude, this guy can F all the way up. I was so fired up watching his apology video. But
he's right. There's a big difference between runners that make good video content and these influencer types.
Who and like you're going like, dude, who does for trail running and ultras? Who does
Jeff Peltier from Canada?
No, that's not who I think.
Well, Jam's done some good videos with Mountain Outpost.
This guy did a really good one with like during Hard Rock or Leadville like a couple years ago. It was absolutely awesome. I can't think of who I'm thinking of. But
Billy Yang.
Thank you. Even when you watch his, you can see him coming down the trail and then like getting out of the way and like making sure that he's not interfering with others. Right. And like it's that level of like, dude, do the content, right? But do the content, create the content with everyone else around you in mind. Right. You should be mindful of everybody else. Everyone else shouldn't be mindful of you because you're creating some corny ass video, right? Yeah. And that's coming from someone who enjoys the corny ass video. It's who should be paying attention versus who shouldn't be paying attention. And like that's where like Choi just 1,000,000,000% does not get it. And oh, by the way, to this dude's point, like, why is he running with his shirt on? Because he is a attention whore. He wants the attention. This dude.
I agree. It's a bad representation of the community, really. As a whole. But poor form.
But that's poor representation of the community, right? Let's now talk about outstanding representation.
Let's go to a more positive story.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is who we should be striving for right here.
That's right. So
this is amazing.
This Welshman.
I don't know why.
This
So
guy
immature.
from Wales, Terry Rosamond, completed the challenge. Was raising money and awareness about men's health issues for Movember. So he grew his mustache out and hopes his endeavors will inspire men to take on their own trials. So
I love
Terry Rosamond, he drew his running route on Strava. He did the world's largest GPS cock and balls drawing on foot record attempt.
in 24 hours. In 24 hours.
Yes, in 24 hours. And it was a 75-mile phallus-shaped route.
Dude, that is awesome. And what I love about it is I love the little like out and back that is down at the bottom.
Or the one up near the head.
Like there's so much done well on this, right? Like there's so much that was done well on this.
Yeah.
And that, folks, is a great representation of
the community
trail running. Like that is the community right there, folks.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
He trekked through the mist and pitch black conditions across the Brecon Beacons. So he did it on trail.
Yeah.
Began his journey at 5 p.m. Friday at Abergavenny Railway Station and finished about 4:30 p.m. on Saturday at the same place. Described his challenge as the hardest thing he has taken on. Speaking in his car as he drove home after completing his run, he told the PA news agency it was absolutely horrendous.
My body is in bits.
Hard slog for 24 hours. He didn't sleep. He ran through the night. He couldn't see anything. Got lost loads of times. He said we got lost. So I don't know if somebody was doing it with him. I'd like to have a beer with that guy. I don't
know. Dude, 100%. Like that dude, this dude is hilarious. I guarantee this dude is funnier than hell.
Yeah. So. The elevation killed us. It was really tough. I'm just glad to get it done, he said. He's a director for a freelance marketing company. He ran the shape of the large manhood to gain the attention of his target demographic and joked that most men found the shape hilarious.
Yeah.
That we do. That we do.
Mm-hmm. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, pretty funny. 12 hours pitch black. Got the torches on. All you can see is what it highlights in front of you. A lot of his friends and family were there who he wasn't expecting. And he has not yet set his sights on another challenge of the scale. Instead, intends to overindulge at Christmas with his family. I'm getting fat for Christmas. That's it for now. No challenges, no training. My body's in, like you said, my body's in bits. He's just going to get fat for Christmas. Love that. That's kind of what I'm doing too, you know.
Dude, he's one of us, man. Like
one of us.
What a dude. What an awesome.
Yeah, that's a great story to close the show out on.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
We thought we were gonna be a quick show, but here we are.
115 on the nose, right? Like right there it is. Like so funny. Like it just right as rain. So
all right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We will definitely be rooting on Josh this weekend at Tunnel Hill 50. Josh Sasson, our friend of the pod down in St. Louis. Be really excited to follow him in that race and watch him get it done. So,
yeah, good luck. Have fun. Enjoy it.
Yeah, hit us up on social media.
Yeah.
Hit us up on social media. Leave us a comment. Send us an email. I don't know. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Yeah. We just want to grow the community and have fun. Join our Strava club. All the links to our socials are in the show notes. So
cool.
Anything else, Johnny?
I got nothing. Hope everyone has a great one.
All right. See you, everyone, later.
See you.